is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And we're starting off with a topic that is, well, it's just kind of shitty, really. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of terrible in some ways and regards. Like, I don't even know how to explain it except that it's disgusting. And this one comes from Worthy, and it's about Madonna. So Madonna is worth an estimated $850 million, and she bragged about not paying her employees. Yeah, like, what? This is such a weird one. So pop superstar Madonna is under fire again, following an Instagram post in which she claimed she makes her employees work for free, which we think technically makes them volunteers. The music legend, who is said to be worth an estimated $850 million, took to Instagram yesterday to show off a photo spread by photographer Stephen Klein. But it was a caption to the image that kicked off the controversy. She says that she was proud of a collaboration with Stephen Klein's studio for V magazine, and knowing that against all odds, she wrote, and with very little support from non-artistic people who kept pushing back, and the fact that we did it almost with zero budget and we were still able to make art. Art is not dead if you have the strength to fight for what you believe in. And then she goes on to say, thanks to all who did support us and slept on couches, worked long hours, and all for free to support Madame X, meeting her. Like, what? This is, like, absurd on so many levels. Like, eh? So they did this big photo shoot, right? Apparently with this studio. And everyone that worked at what don't get paid? What? Like, it's I know a lot of artsy people aren't gonna like this because I know there's gonna be like graphics designers and stuff who've been burned by people where they've made something and not got paid for it, right? So yeah, there's a few comments from this, and there's, oh, what? Sleeping on couches, working for free to support Madam X. Can't believe it. Sorry, Madam X is reach. She must support talent for our emerging artists, wrote user De Los Corbus. Oh god, if you as Madonna have almost zero budget, I don't know what hope in hell there is for inside arts like us, said the Alpha's Music. So basically, you're a multi-millionaire and you expect people to work for you for free to support you. Just because you call it art, they don't get paid, echoed Claire Barnes, 76. The definition of exploitation equals people working for you for free in the name of art, charged more than forever. And it kind of goes on like that, and it's up. Like, this is real. This is a real post. It has 310,000 likes. But it's just disgusting. Like, support people who work for you, like, pay them a fair wage. Like, I don't know, like, this whole thing in the art community of, well, you should work for free and prove you're good enough. It's like, no, people need to make a living. People need to eat. People need to pay bills, right? And when you have millionaires who can't be bothered to compensate people for their time, like, I don't even know what to say at this one. Let me know what you guys think. But, like, to me, this is just, it's unacceptable. Like, why would you not just pay them a fair wage? What is so hard about that? To her, it's nothing, right? I think that's what makes it more egregious, is like, Madonna is in that position where she can afford to pay these people and compensate them well for the time. Yeah. I just, yeah. That's all I have to say on that one. Let me know what you guys think down below, because this one boggled my mind quite a bit. Moving on to another story, and this one is from The Guardian. And this one is about Starbucks, which is doing stuff, nasty corporate stuff, type of stuff that corporations do in order to subjugate their workers and ensure that their working conditions will always remain crappy and that they'll never organize. So let's hop into this, shall we? Starbucks has launched an aggressive anti-union effort as upstate New York stores organize. So management has been urging baristas to reject the union at mandatory listening sessions and shut stores holding drives. So oh god. So Will Westlake, a Starbucks barista in Hamburg, New York, whose store recently filed for a union election, was told by a manager he could attend an early mandatory anti-union union meeting on the 8th of November, because he was scheduled to work early the next day. The meeting was in a nearby hotel, and when Westlake arrived, he found out that he was the only worker in attendance, with 6 members of Starbucks management. The meeting lasted for about an hour. That was basically how my last anti-union meeting was, totally separated from the rest of my co-workers and having to be surrounded, said Westlake. They started off by going around and saying that they wanted me to vote no for the union, and then they went back and forth talking about how great all the benefits are at Starbucks, and if we vote in the union, we may not have any of those benefits. So basically, they are holding whatever perks of the job there are ransom, and basically saying to employees, if you vote for this, we will make your lives hell. This is just disgusting, right? Westlake emphasized the numerous anti-union meetings have been framed as listening sessions, but it's the workers who have been doing most of the listening. The sessions have largely consisted of management presenting anti-union talking points with little feedback from workers involved. Westlake's experience is just one part of an aggressive anti-union campaign run by the coffee giant chain, as 6 Starbucks stores in Buffalo, New York area have filed for union elections with the National Labor Relations Board in recent weeks. If successful, the stores would be the first Starbucks corporate locations to unionize in the US. And good on them, I think they should. I think the fact that Starbucks is fighting this so hard is a reason that they should. Honestly. Workers have reported numerous captive audience meetings, one-on-one meetings, store shutdowns, closures, remodelings, and text messages, a mode of contact that was previously used only for emergencies. Dozens of corporate executives have flooded stores with the intent to deter workers from voting to unionize. So they're basically harassing the staff. This is basically what they're doing. They are absolutely harassing the staff. It's disgusting. The company sent more managers here to Buffalo than workers voting in the first 3 elections. There's no way it can be viewed as anything other than an attempt to spy on partners and intimidate them, said Brian Murray, a Starbucks barista in Lancaster, New York. Murray added, every day we're forced to deal with new managers we've never met, and it's draining to have to go through the constant anti-union meetings, text messages, managers tried to pry into our lives. It shouldn't be acceptable for them to treat anyone like this, especially during the lead up to an election that should be free and fair. A former Starbucks CEO and billionaire Howard Schultz visited Buffalo to present a case against unionizing to workers on 6th of November and incited criticism for making an analogy. Oh. Ho ho. Oh. He made an analogy to World War II in discussing the company's mission. Holy shit. So, I don't even want to look into that because that will definitely not get monetized on Twitch. So, Starbucks characterized the closures as coincidental. As soon as the baristas publicly announced they wanted to have a union, corporate executives swarmed into stores to try and stop them with threats, promises, store closing over one pressure, said Richard Benzinger, an organizer with Starbucks Workers United. He said all 21 employees at the Starbucks stores in, let me try and get this right, Chittagua, no, Cheektowaga. Cheektowaga, I think. Cheektowaga, New York, had signed up the union election petition, but the company has expanded the voting list to 46 workers. At another store, Benzinger said 8% of the workers signed union authorization cards. The Starbucks shut down that store as well. The company transferred workers to other stores and turned the location into a training center. According to a December... Oh, this is a whole level of just absolute... it's intimidation, right? Like, it's greasy. Does it feel greasy? Like, it feels greasy to me, right? Like, that's it. Like, when I read this, when I'm like talking about this, it's like sleazy and just, it doesn't feel comfortable. It feels awful, right? It's like, ugh, the ways you go to like break up people, shutting down stores, forcing them to go on their own to these sessions where basically a bunch of corporate stooges threaten to take away your benefits to make your life hell if you vote for this. It's just, ugh. I don't even want to read more of this story. I really, really don't. I think we got the general gist of it here, right? We got the gist of it. Like, ugh. It's just horrible. Don't treat workers like that. Like, what? Like, no. Don't treat workers like that. I don't know. Let me know what you think about Starbucks down below. I think, like, these tactics are just, ugh. They're awful. They are absolutely awful. And, yeah. I don't know. This would make me want to unionize more because clearly there's a reason they're fighting it so hard, right? And them tactics, that would make me angry. That would make me so angry. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think down below. Alrighty. Final story of the day. And this one is from KSHB. And it is about Kevin Strickland, who has been freed after 43 years in prison on a wrongful conviction. So this is a bit of like, whoa, 43 years. I hope that he's going to sue because shit, 43 years. So Kevin Strickland will finally walk free after being in prison for the last 43 years for a crime he did not commit. Strickland was convicted by a jury in 1978 for a triple murder. It was his second jury trial, as the first ended in a mistrial. Yes, the first trial ended in a mistrial. The second trial ended up in a conviction. That was obviously overturned because it was a wrongful conviction. But he spent 43 years in prison before it was overturned. Strickland's younger brother, Warren Thornton, was ecstatic when KSHB 41 News told him of his brother's freedom. God is good, Thornton exclaimed. Strickland is to be immediately discharged from the state's custody, according to the judgment. The conviction rested heavily on the eyewitness testimony of a lone survivor of the crime, Cynthia Douglas. In the evidentiary hearing to set him free, Strickland's legal team called multiple witnesses to the stand, many of whom were Douglas's family and friends. Each recalled times when Douglas told him that she'd chosen the wrong man in 1978. Douglas even made an effort herself in 2009, February, to start the process to free Strickland with the following email to the Midwest Innocence Project. I am seeking info on how to help someone that was wrongfully accused. This incident happened back in 1978. I was the only eyewitness and things were not clear back then. But now I know more and would like to help the person if I can. She died in 2015 after a prolonged illness before she could formally recant her testimony. So yeah, this is one of them where it's just a sad one, right? So expert testimony from Dr. Nancy Franklin further showed how Douglas, a national identificator of Strickland, could have been wrong. Trauma of the crime, a poorly selected lineup, and influence from those around her all contributed to Douglas's misidentification of Strickland as the man who held the shotgun that night, Franklin said. The Missouri Attorney General's office appeared in court to try and uphold the conviction. The AG's representatives argued that Douglas's recantations were nothing but hearsay and did not meet the standard needed to clear a conviction. Ultimately, though, the judge, James Welsh, specifically appointed to the case by the Supreme Court of Missouri, ruled Strickland would be freed. Strickland served the longest sentence of any wrongfully convicted person in Missouri. And holy crap. It's awesome that this was overturned. Obviously. But 43 years of your life lost. That's a lot. And you gotta remember, this is 43 years of being institutionalized. That's gonna be hard to. This is all gonna be really hard for Kevin Strickland coming out of this. I do think that he should sue, because 43 years, that's a lot of your life to lose. So any compensation that he can get in order to enjoy the rest of his life to the fullest is, I think, well deserved. It's really, really sad that Cynthia Douglas died in 2015. I think, from everything that there would have been one of the people who really would have been happy to see this turned over. And it's another reason why the death penalty is such a divisive thing. And I want to bring that into this discussion because I think it needs to be highlighted, right? This guy was convicted for a triple murder. Right? Wrongfully convicted. And in other states, they could have been given the death penalty and they could have been killed. Right? And then we find out later that they were wrongfully convicted. And I think that's even worse. Like, there's just so many problems and there's so many cases like this. There's so many cases of the Innocence Project just trying to get these people out of prison, who are being wrongfully convicted and stuff. And there's a lot of death row cases that are like this, where there's people who the Innocence Project believe have been wrongfully convicted and they try to help them, and sometimes it's too late, right? And you find out afterwards that, hey, and it's one of them. Let me know what you guys think down below. I think 43 years, like, that's an insane amount of time for something you didn't do, and so much lost time with just your life and your family and everyone, and the stigma, and oh yeah, and to have the mistrial in the first case as well, right? To have the mistrial and then like all of it is super. I just feel for this person. I do. I can't imagine what it's like for them now. Obviously, the amount of joy must be. It must just be uncomprehendable. Just Let me know what you guys think down below. Like, this is obviously an exceptional one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe down below.